Let me ask you something before we even get started. If God, or the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, if that force handed you 10 times more money than you have right now, what would actually change? Not what you think would change, not what you'd tell people would change. What would actually change? Because here's the thing most people don't want to sit with. The answer to that question is probably the exact reason why the money isn't coming yet. I know that's uncomfortable, but stay with me, because by the time this is over, I want you to feel something shift. Not just think differently, actually feel something unlock inside of you. The kind of clarity that makes you see your current situation completely differently. There's a concept that goes back thousands of years. Ancient texts, Stoic philosophers, spiritual traditions across every culture on earth, they all circle back to the same idea: faithfulness in small things. And no, that's not a religious line. It's a principle of nature. It's how systems work. It's how trust is built between people, between you and your ambitions, and yes, between you and whatever divine intelligence you believe is watching your life unfold. The principle is this: you don't get trusted with more until you've proven yourself with less. Think about that for a second. Not blessed with more, not given more, trusted with more. That word choice matters enormously, because the moment you start seeing money not as something you chase, but as something you get trusted with, everything about how you handle it changes. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the 3 real reasons you're being held in place. And I'm going to be honest with you, not harsh, but honest, because I think you've heard enough soft encouragement that didn't actually move you. What you need now is truth that respects your intelligence. The first reason: you are mismanaging what's already in your hands. Picture this. A man named Marcus works a regular job, nothing glamorous. He brings home enough to cover his bills and have a little left over. He complains every week about how broke he is. He prays about money. He talks about his dreams. He posts motivational quotes about abundance. But every week, there's $100 that disappears. Not into bills, not into savings. It just goes. Small purchases, convenience choices, money that vanishes without intention. Now here's where it gets interesting. That $100 a month, if managed correctly, is $1,200 a year. Over 5 years, with even basic investing, it's potentially $7,000 to $10,000. That's a course, that's a tool, that's capital, that's a small business starting fund. But Marcus never sees it that way, because in his mind, $100 is nothing. It's not worth the effort of tracking. And that right there is the signal. That mindset, that it's too small to matter thinking, is the exact frequency that closes the doors to greater resources. Because here's what's true about money at the spiritual level. Money is energy, and energy flows toward who respects it. When you dismiss small amounts, when you treat small opportunities like they're beneath you, you're sending a very clear message about your character. And character is always being observed. The question isn't, why don't I have more? The question is, what is your relationship with what you already have? Can you account for where every dollar went this week? Not obsessively, not fearfully, but intentionally. Because stewardship isn't about being stingy. It's about being conscious. It's about saying, this resource passed through my hands, and I knew exactly where it went and why. That kind of consciousness, that level of intentionality, that is what actually attracts more. The second reason: discipline is a fantasy for you, not a practice. Let me paint a picture. You've told yourself you're going to save a certain amount every month. You're going to cut down on eating out. You're going to start that side income stream you've been researching for 2 years. And you start. You really do. The first week goes well, maybe even the second. Then something happens. Life interrupts. Or nothing happens. It's just a Tuesday, and the discipline feels pointless, and the results feel invisible, and you stop. And 3 months later, you're back at the same video, the same podcast, the same moment of inspiration, and you make the same promise to yourself again. This is the loop. And it's not a willpower problem. It's not even a motivation problem. It's a design problem. Most people are trying to build financial discipline through emotion. They get inspired and they go hard. Then the emotion fades and the habit collapses because you are building on feeling, not structure. Here's what actually works. You design systems that don't require you to feel like it. Automatic transfers, non-negotiable budget lines, a physical consequence for breaking the structure, something that makes breaking the rule more painful than keeping it. The ancient Stoics had a phrase, amor fati, love your fate, not in a passive way, in a constructive way. You accept the discipline as part of the life you're designing, not as punishment. True discipline is quiet. It's not loud declarations. It's the person who, without fanfare, without posting about it, without needing validation, just does the thing every day, especially when it feels invisible, especially when no results are showing yet. And here's the spiritual layer of this. God, or whatever divine intelligence you subscribe to, doesn't respond to declarations. It responds to patterns. It responds to what you actually do in private, when no one is watching, when the motivation is gone, and it's just you and the choice. That's where character is forged, and character is the only real currency. So ask yourself, what does your pattern say? Not your intentions, your pattern. The third reason, and this one is the deepest, you spend emotionally. This is the one people don't want to talk about. This is the one that hides behind 1,000 different justifications. I deserved that. I've been stressed. It was on sale. I'll make more next month. YOLO. Emotional spending is one of the most sophisticated ways we self-sabotage because it feels like reward. It mimics the sensation of progress. You buy something new, and for 30 minutes you feel like you've leveled up. You feel like you're celebrating the person you're becoming, but you're not. You're soothing the person you currently are. And there is a profound difference between those two things. Let me give you a framework. There are 3 types of purchases. The first type is investment, money that creates more capacity, a skill, a tool, a resource that generates returns in some form, time, income, knowledge. The second type is maintenance, the necessities, rent, food, transport, utilities, non-negotiable. The third type is emotional relief, purchases made to feel something, to feel better, to feel worthy, to numb out, to celebrate, to cope. Now here's what no one tells you. That third category isn't always wrong. There is real human value in enjoyment. But when emotional spending becomes your default response to stress, to loneliness, to boredom, to the aching feeling that your life isn't moving fast enough, that's when it becomes a leak, and you can plug every financial strategy in the world onto a leaking vessel, and it will still sink. The real work here isn't budgeting, it's self-awareness. It's sitting with the discomfort long enough to ask, what am I actually feeling right now? And is spending going to address that, or just delay it? Most emotional spending is deferred pain. You spend today to avoid feeling the anxiety of your current reality. But the anxiety doesn't leave. It just shows up again, tomorrow, or next week, or when the credit card statement arrives. The spiritual principle underneath all of this is this: you cannot build the life you dream about on top of unresolved emotional patterns. The outer world is always a reflection of the inner one, always. So the money that you're waiting for, it's waiting for you to be ready to receive it without immediately spending it on relief. Now here's where I want to leave you. Most people want the upgrade before they've been tested on the current level. They want the promotion before they've mastered the role they're already in. They want the expanded resources before they've shown wisdom with the limited ones. And the universe, God, life, whatever word you use, it's not withholding from you out of cruelty. It's not punishing you. It's giving you time. It's giving you the exact conditions you need to develop the person capable of handling what you're asking for. That is the reframe. Not, why hasn't this arrived, but, what is this season actually developing in me? Because when it does arrive, and it can, and it will, you'll be someone who knows how to hold it, how to grow it, how to steward it. Not someone who burns through it in 6 months and ends up back at 0, wondering what happened. The transformation isn't from poor to rich. The transformation is from unconscious to intentional, and that shift, that one shift, changes everything that follows. So here's what I want you to do before you move on with your day. Not a big commitment, just one small, honest act of stewardship. Open your bank account. Look at the last 30 days. Find one pattern, one recurring leak, one emotional purchase, $1 that disappeared without intention. Just one. Then make one decision about it. That's it. That's the beginning. Not a 5-year plan. Not a new budgeting app. Just one honest look and one conscious decision. Because that's how trust gets built. One small, faithful moment at a time. And if this video reached you where you needed to be reached today, if something in here felt uncomfortably true, there's more where this came from. The next one goes even deeper into why the way you think about money might be the most expensive problem you have. I'll see you there.